He says, I'm going to try plant-based, and interestingly, Michael Hearn, another sort of bodybuilding icon, says to him, hey dude, if you're going to do it, I'm fine with experimentation, but check your bones, check a bone scan. And I think he's probably referring to a DEXA scan, but see what happens. So this is an interesting video from a high-level professional bikini competitor who saw the movie Game Changers and said, well, I'm going to try being a vegan for a month. And so let's look in and see what happened. And I've just highlighted the relevant parts, and I'll talk more in detail afterwards. So check this out real quick, guys.
So I just did my DEXA scan this month. I do it every month. And this month I did an experiment. Okay, I watched that documentary like many other people, Game Changers, and you know what? I decided to go vegan. So I've been vegan for this past month. So my body fat increased by about 2.5%. When I did my last scan, last month I was at 14.5% body fat. I'm at 16.9% body fat today. Now this part here was kind of depressing for me because I actually lost quite a bit of muscle as well. Last month my lean tissue was at 100.2 pounds, and today I was at 96.4 pounds. I've lost about 4 pounds of muscle. What does that tell me? Well,
okay, as you see, results were not what the Game Changers told you they might be. She put on body fat, and she lost significant muscle mass. 100 pounds, she lost 4 pounds of muscle, 4% of her body lean mass, muscle mass. That is, that is truly disturbing when you think about it. That is not a small amount. If we look at what occurs in aging, we see that losing that amount of muscle mass is the equivalent of aging 1 decade. So within 1 month, her body composition aged an entire decade by going vegan. If that is not frightening, I don't know what is. There was a documentary on the BBC, and a guy did a similar experiment. He had been vegan for a month, and the same sort of results happened. He lost all this lean muscle mass. He lost some bone mineral density. This is serious stuff, guys. And so, was this isolated to her? Let's see what comments on her response were. So if you look at the comments, there's the usual vegan, oh, you weren't doing it right, you weren't doing it for the right reason, so on and so forth. And just to be honest about this, she admits that during that vegan month, there was a couple of occasions where she had a couple eggs and a little bit of whey protein, and because she was having a hard time getting enough protein in. But the vegans were like, whoa, okay, that caused all the bone loss. That's just absolute, obviously ridiculous. But the clear case was dropping meat from the diet and relying exclusively on plant-based, or almost exclusively on plant-based proteins, and she was taking tempeh and seitan and tofu and beans and lentils, resulted in a dramatic loss of muscle. Okay, so some of the responses, so we've got MG Fit 88, and she gets a lot of, fitness competitors that follow her. And she says, OMG, thanks for sharing. I've been trying being vegan for the past month as well, and my results have been similar to yours. Even when we enjoy something, is sometimes not the best approach to follow depending on our goals. Okay, so there's one that, is just saying, yeah, that's another one. So we got another one. Mama Morto. So cool you tried this, so appreciate your feedback. I was wondering how this would go for me after watching Game Changers and after prep. From being a vegetarian for 30 years, I will say eating animal protein has been essential to my progress as a competitor. You got Uncle J177. I'm happy to hear someone sharing this information. I'm the biggest animal lover I know, which is always the impetus for me going vegan. But as someone who is a 40-plus year, lifts weights, martial arts, and bicycles, I found I was losing more muscle than anything. I wasn't nearly as strong, and that kind of messed with my head. Best I do now is keep red meat to a minimum, and it's just been impossible to eliminate it completely and continue living how I do. Thank you for a great post. Chelsea Unieno. She's another apparently competitor. I went vegan years ago and then tried vegetarian and ended up becoming anemic, so it's not good for me either. If people want to do it, it's fine with me, but acting like it's the best diet and everyone should do it isn't accurate. I'd say that's pretty fair. Mindy Bear, another competitor, former vegan here. It didn't work for my body type either. Lost tons of muscle and strength, zero energy, hair loss, joint pain, brittle nails, gut bacteria imbalance, brain fog, and on and on. The Game Changers is media propaganda at its worst. The producers or owners of a pea protein company. Most of the athletes have become injured, retired, or lost significant performance since filming. Humans aren't designed to run on plants. See my Game Changers review. We can talk into detail about how all those athletes got injured or got worse. I am key. I would never go vegan again. When I did, I lost all my gains and I didn't feel well in general. Humans are meant to eat animal protein. The problem is when you eat factory or conventional meat full of antibiotics, etc. That's the other reason why vegans and other people promote this cult lifestyle. You should see the Ancestral Health Guy's page. Is amazing. Human nutrition. So, you know, her experience is not isolated. And I would argue that when it comes to performance, you know, we've got these guys that are saying I'm doing athletics, but if you were to take, say, let's use Nate Diaz as an example, and I know he still eats fish and a little bit of eggs and he's not really vegan, but I would propose that if you took Nate Diaz and you matched him up against Nate Diaz in a fight, 9 times out of 10, the Nate Diaz that was eating a whole food animal-based diet with maybe sufficient carbohydrates to fuel his training needs versus a vegan or mostly plant-based Nate Diaz, and you would see the animal-based version win almost all the time. I'd say that goes for almost any athlete out there. You know, vegans that drop junk food, you know, and this is a problem. You take a vegan diet and you compare it to a junk food diet, well, yeah, a vegan diet's gonna be a little better, at least over the short term for many people. Some people it doesn't even work over the short term. So not a good strategy. You don't want to age 10 years. You don't want to lose bone, mineral density. You don't want to lose muscle mass. You don't want to increase your body fat. That is just the wrong way to go. That's what happens to people when they cut out a better supply of protein out of their diet. And this wasn't a person eating a junk food diet. This is a competitive fitness competitor that eats a clean, natural diet normally. And going from that diet to a vegan diet, worse diet. Maybe going from McDonald's junk food diet, maybe a little bit of improvement for a short period of time. So anyway, quote from my book. Basically, I don't mince words, and I get to the point, fairly blunt in some areas. I think it's what it needs. Anyway, coming out in a couple days, guys. I appreciate all the support so far. You guys, I'm looking forward to a couple steaks this morning.